And we are live. Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jaguar. I will do a sound check in a few moments. First of all, this channel is proudly partnered with the What the Funk shop. Please check out their store for all sorts of products. They have dice, miniatures, game master screens, home decorations, and many other things. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comment. And make sure that you use my code for a special discount. A moment please while I check the sound. Sounds good. Today we are continuing the White Album visual novel. I have a tutoring session with Mana today. Let me set the full screen. Now, where should I go? It's only until the 16th when there's an important event. We shall go to Mana's house then. I have my tutoring job today. I kill some time before heading over to Mana's house. Ding dong. Oh, Fuji. You came out right away this time. How weird. You came today too? You don't give up, huh? I'm not sure how my coming is any different than usual. We've had a surplus lately. Of what? Private tutors. Considering I'm her only tutor, that's pretty mean. Well, you're already here, so I guess I have no choice. I'll keep you company. She's so into Toya. Thanks. Gets her feelings like that. I follow her inside the house. I put together a lesson plan, so that's what we'll be following today. Is it fun for you to make those up? I don't think Mana actually minds studying, it's just that she finds it stressful to have constraints put on her time. I have exactly as much fun making them as you have learning from them. Stop acting all grown up. But she obediently bends over her desk, focusing on the exercises in her workbook. I give up. As soon as she finishes the first subject, she throws down her pencil like always. Hey Fuji, how about we call it quits for today? Come on, please. Are you serious? We can finish this up next time, how about it? I've never once heard someone promise that and then actually carry through. Wanna duck? I guess it's fine. Knowing how well you're doing, it probably won't make much of a difference if we end early today. Aha, that's right. You're a pretty smart guy, right? Fuji. She turns to me with a huge smile on her face. We'll stop studying for now and have a little chat instead. Yeah, sounds great. But next time you have to finish today's work. Stop being so tedious. Fine. And just like that, my work for today is done. Nice work today, Mana. Yep, I had a lot of fun. Yeah? Well, that's good to hear. Exactly as much fun as I have going to school. Your face just now, you don't have to look at me like that. I hurriedly tried to look more mature. Okay then, see ya. And she waves goodbye. You don't take that seriously. You don't have to come back. I know. But if you're coming anyway, then bring some more ideas to make it fun. I'll try. See ya. I wave back. Good night, Fuji. Night. I can see why some people were so harsh in their reviews or criticism of this visual novel, because it does have a lot of like casual talk moments, but you feel like you're going nowhere. They are so superficial and empty. Now, where should I go today? It's not the 16th yet, so we go to talk to. What are the choices? Lolly and Rina. Rina, of course. I'm working as an AD today. I head over to the TV station. Hey, Toya. Hmm? Oh, Rina. Hey there. She greets me with a smile. Hello. It's always nice to see her. I want to chat for a bit before she goes. Entertainment. Rina's been abroad at least once, right? As a singer, is it true that you often travel abroad for vocal training? Do you and Eiji travel often? So far, Yuki hasn't gone anywhere outside of Japan yet. I wonder if she will at some point. A work trip, huh? My brother actually travels pretty often for his job. I was right then. You don't go with him? I have. Though I didn't so much go as get forcibly dragged along. What a weird reply. I guess she didn't have much fun traveling outside of Japan. I guess it makes sense. If you're traveling for work, you won't have a lot of free time to enjoy it. My brother ended up goofing off the whole time. Yeah? That sounds like him. I wasn't as busy in high school as I am now, so he'd always take me with him to Europe under the pretense of it being a work trip. Sounds like a sweet deal to me. Think about it, I was too busy with lessons to enjoy anything from those trips. Although to be fair, I was never in the mood to just hang out back then anyway. I would have preferred having a normal break in Japan versus being dragged all over Europe. That's how she feels, huh? Personally, I'd prefer vacationing in Europe. Whisked away to some foreign country with no one to talk to, I was stuck with my brother the whole time. That does sound pretty exhausting. All I wanted to do was study, but he'd constantly be like, let's go see a race or watch a soccer game. Watching those things live sounds pretty cool. That's exactly what he kept telling me, but I just wasn't interested. Seems like the entire experience was wasted on you. I'm pretty sure my brother was close friends with some of the racers. The more she talks, the cooler it all sounds. I never got to do anything interesting on any of our trips, since I could never leave my brother's side. It's happened several times. The scale is a little out of whack, but it sounds to me like Eiji is a surprisingly standard issue, overprotective big brother, with a face like a schemer. But I guess he can't help that. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I got dizzy as soon as I entered my apartment. What? Sick. Ha ha ha. I'm a damn mess. Passing out as soon as I stepped through the door. Somehow I managed to drag myself into bed, but it's pretty rough. Oh, it's sick, right? At any rate, I should go to sleep and hope I feel better in the morning. No, I don't recommend that. Much better to read that. What if something happens overnight and it becomes worse? Good night. Morning. I remember one of my friends. He told me one time he went on a trip and he had this like a stomach ache in the night, and he was like, "Oh well, I'll just sleep it off." And he woke up with horrible pains. He got better, well, of course, but that's not a pleasant experience, right? And I still feel like crap. You see, I don't feel better at all. I guess I'll take the day off to rest. Telephone. Is that the phone? Who could be calling at this hour? Yes, this is Fuji speaking. Oh, I'm so sorry for bothering you so late at night. This is Morikawa. What? She's his girlfriend, and she speaks so formally. Oh, hey Yuki, is something wrong? I thought that was you. What do you mean? I hear her hesitate, seemingly puzzled about something. You're the one who sounds like something's wrong. Uh-oh. There's no way I'm telling her I passed out in my apartment. Partly because I don't want her to worry, but mostly because of how dorky that sounds. Were you asleep? She's always so observant. Come on, Toya. You're the one always telling me not to push myself too hard. I know. There's no way I'm getting anything past her. Are you really okay, Toya? You don't have a fever or anything, do you? Yes, actually he does. I said I'm fine. You really need to take better care of yourself. You can be kind of reckless sometimes. I know. Do more exercise. Doing exercise, your body heats up, and many of the toxins that you accumulate throughout the day, they burn up, they become incinerated. So he needs more exercise. I don't think how I'm feeling is my fault for once. But either way, I still don't want her worrying about me any more than she already is. You really don't have to worry. I promise I'm fine. It's not that big of a deal. You need to take care of yourself, especially since there's nothing I can do to help, even if you were to pass out. Which he did. Yuki? He's already fallen into a sad silence. Yuki, you don't have to. Look, I promise I'm okay. I'm fine, but I promise I'll take better care of myself, alright? Good. I can tell she's nodding. I'm sorry, I can't do anything to help right now, but at least I can talk to you on the phone. Honestly, I just really wanted to talk to you. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Considering I am taking the Yayoi route, which is the cheater route, that's heartbreaking. Yeah, well, I'm glad you called. Hearing your voice always cheers me up. Although you could say that Yuki is a bit cheating on her side as well with Eiji. I hear her chuckle on the other end of the line. That's why I recommend in those situations, if the relationship is not working out, either do a major shift to save it or drop it. End it right there and there. Right then and there. Good. But don't push yourself. Make sure you get plenty of rest. And sometimes you end up being good friends, right? So it's not like a definitive ending. There are some amicable endings to relationships sometimes. I will. I don't want to keep you on the phone too long. Good night. Yep, good night. And she hangs up. Okay, I'll take it easy for a bit longer. Again? The phone? Again? Yes, this is Fuji speaking. In the middle of the night. Sorry for bothering you so late at night. Is the residence of Toya Fuji? Ah, it's Rina, right? Oh, yes, this is him. Were you already in bed? No, yes, he was. This beautiful voice sounds familiar. Of course, it's Rina, of course. Is that you, Rina? I'm sorry for calling you so late. Are you okay? If I ever decide to play this again with another route, I'm taking either the Rina route or the Sayoko route. Oh, what do you mean? I heard from Yuki that you passed out. Oh. Kind of. This is embarrassing. You don't have to go around telling people everything about me, Yuki. Not only that, but she said you sometimes push yourself way too hard, which is why we are worried. I guess I do that. Did Yuki really tell her that? God, Yuki. Again, translation error. There is no God in the original dialogue. Why? Honestly, that was the impression I got when I met you. Because, like I said, when those critics speak about how, oh, they translated this into the woke version. Okay, right, that's wrong, right? You don't want to wokeify things, but you also don't want to place religion and politics outside of what is being communicated in the original dialogue. If that's the dialogue, perfect, that's it. But apart from that, don't go inserting those things. Honestly, that was the impression I got when I met you. Yeah? But you know, your body can only take so much abuse, so knock it off. Of course, it's an incredibly kind gesture, but it makes her sound so much older than she really is. To tell you the truth, I'd be on my way to check on you right now if I could, but I can't. So for now, just try not to make Yuki worry more than she already is. Roger. Really sweet of you, Rina. Hey, you think so? Chuckles, her voice subdued. At any rate, get some rest so you can make a speedy recovery. And don't even think about listening to music or reading. Well, you could listen to music while in bed. Okay, will do. Or won't. Perhaps classical music. How sick does she think I am? Oh crap. I don't want to keep you on the phone too long. I gotta get back to work anyway. Oh, you're calling from work? But instead of answering me, she just laughs in response. Talk to you later, and feel better soon. And she hangs up. I can't believe Rina called me from work to see how I was doing. Even just from hearing her voice. I feel a little better. It's morning. I'm feeling a lot better. Maybe thanks to those phone calls I got last night. I need to be sure to thank Yuki and Rina. Now then, where should I go today? It's the 13th. We're getting close to the 16th. Okay, let me double check. 16, Misaki is super boring. Akira is super boring. This girl, like the last choice. It's between Akira and her. Well, let's go with Yuki. I'm working as an AD today. I head over to the TV station. Huh? I'm pretty sure that's Yuki over there. Hey, Yuki! Oh, morning, Toya. He flashes me a big, childlike smile. What's up? I hate her voice so much. Oh, romance. Do you remember when we first met? When we first met? No. Yeah, we were in the same class in high school. Yuki usually took off as soon as classes ended, so I almost never saw her around after school. If we hadn't sat next to each other during class, I probably never would have noticed her. In the beginning, we mostly engaged in small talk and school-related conversations. There weren't really any special events to bring us closer. I'm the one who broached the topic, but I have no idea what to say next. Yuki simply stands there in awkward silence. What's wrong? Did you remember something? Well, twiddles her fingers, clearly not wanting to tell me. Now I'm curious, what are you thinking about? After opening and closing her mouth several times, she finally musters up the courage to answer. The moment when I found out my feelings for you were mutual. Oh yeah, your cheeks are bright red. Of course they are, after you say something like that. Worried, she lifts her gaze, peering quizzically up into my face. Do you remember, Toya? If I didn't, I wouldn't be this flustered. Or did you forget? Her worried expression makes me feel guilty. Of course I remember. I have to answer her after she put me on the spot, but that doesn't mean I can't tease her a little first. Actually, what were we doing again? I asked, trying to look clueless. You're dodging the question. No, I'm not. Besides, you're the one who brought it up to begin with. You actually forget, Toya? How about a hint? Her expression immediately darkens. Just as I realize it's time for me to get serious, Yuki speaks up. If you forgot, it's fine. My feelings were one-sided to begin with, so it makes sense that you wouldn't remember, Toya. A self-deprecating smirk crosses her lips as she looks at me. Yet despite all that, you were still okay with it, which is why I'll never forget. But also, the hint is past and present tense. As soon as I speak up, Yuki looks over at me, clearly surprised. She really thought I forgot. The hint is past and present tense. Why? Well, that is like her to think that. I remember that day. There's no way I could ever forget. That moment. Hey, wait. Don't be so loud. Flustered, I pressed my fingers against her lips. I was thinking that this actually looks like the Moonraker outfit from 007 from James Bond. If this glove was silver, it would be like a sci-fi suit. Glancing around quickly, I'm relieved to see that no one seems to have noticed. Be more careful. It's probably my fault for bringing this up in a place like this. I can't help feeling super embarrassed. Says meekly. Quiet, serious girl who stands before me looks the same as she did when we first started dating. That's it. 14. Now then, where should I go today? Save the game. Oh, we got an interaction with Yayoi, finally. Finally, Yayoi. I'm working as an AD today. I head over to the TV station. Good morning. Oh. Oh, hi, good morning. This is the first time she has contacted us first. It's unusual for Yayoi to start a conversation with me. Romance! Whoa, things are getting serious finally. Can I ask you a question, Yayoi? Go ahead. Turns to me looking as calm as always. She told me before that she apparently never loved anyone. But I want to try asking her one more time. This isn't about me, by the way, just a close friend of mine. They've been stressed recently. This friend of mine started seeing a girl, but their thoughts on the relationship don't line up, and he's starting to wonder if she really loves him. I can tell from the glazed look in her eyes she's not following. I knew I wouldn't be able to get an answer out of her if I asked her directly, so I had to get creative. So Yayoi she hides her feelings so much. Not to the point of being a tsundere, like acting hostile, but acting extremely cold, like a kudere, I think they call it in Japan. Though I get the feeling she knows what's going on. We go to the same school, and he comes off as kind of feminine at times. That's because Fuji was very passive in bed when they slept together. I toss in that additional detail as an afterthought. My friend wants to know how his girlfriend truly feels about him, but how would you bring it up, Yayoi? This seems like a problem born from pointless assumptions. But for example, have you ever fallen in love? Might be the question I'd ask his friend's partner if I were in your shoes, Fuji. But he has already asked that. He saw right through my flimsy attempt. Oh! It won't make sense if I ask her. Why do you think that? Because I can't say that it won't work since I already tried it once before. There's no way she'd respond truthfully when asked such a random question by an unrelated party. You're absolutely correct. There's no way she would answer a question that's clearly none of this other person's business. Ooh! That's super cold. I have somewhere to be, so if you'll excuse me. With those final words, she walks off. I understand the implication in her words, that I am the intrusive third party on her and Yuki's relationship. Technically, Yuki is my girlfriend. I mutter to myself. But what I really want to know is how Yayoi sees me in her life. I'm not sure who the real third party is anymore. Of course, she wouldn't want me to know, let alone to try and suss out her true feelings. I guess I'll just have to try again, but directly this time. Though I'm not sure how to be more direct than I already have. The 15, one more day and then we are hitting that crucial event. See, we are actually getting to that final arc in the Yayoi route. Now then, where should I go today? Save the game. And we talked to Rina. I'm working at Echoes today. I head over to the cafe. Welcome. Hey there. Oh, Rina, make yourself at home. It's always nice when she drops in. I want to chat for a bit before she goes. Notice how, out of all of the characters that Toya interacts with, even Yuki, Rina is the girl that he always expresses his gladness at seeing her, at talking to her. Hobbies? I have to admit, I'm kind of curious about that necklace you always wear. This? Yeah, that one. I can tell it means a lot to you. This is the first time I've noticed her slightly shy, somewhat embarrassed smile. Notice her slightly shy, somewhat embarrassed smile. Okay. That necklace, if I remember correctly, it used to belong to her mother, I think. Perhaps it's a memento she got from a former guy friend. Yeah, my brother got it for me. Ah, seriously? Well, I wasn't expecting that answer. We're talking about Eiji here, right? He must really care about you. That's debatable. He bought this for me 2 years ago. I wonder how many similar necklaces he's carelessly gifted to the myriad of women who've walked in and out of his life. Then, I really shouldn't be talking about him so casually. Gosh, the more time I spend with you, Toya, the more I start to talk like you. She lowers her voice, like she suddenly realized where we are. I'm sure it's fine, and besides, I promise not to go spreading this around. I find myself matching her conspiratorial tone. Hahaha, you don't have to take it so seriously, Toya. It's not a big deal. My brother's proclivity for women isn't a secret. He doesn't give me gifts very often, so I'm honestly just happy he thought of me at all. It was to celebrate my debut. Though to be fair, he also bought the same necklace for himself. Honestly, I'm not sure if he got this for me or for himself. He lovingly fiddles with the necklace. It's a perfect, mature thing to do, yet it makes her look like a young girl. This must be something you treasure quite a bit. I guess you're right. I don't really have anything else that means as much to me. Despite her excuses about the necklace, it's clear that it's very important to her. Though it's less about the piece of jewelry, more about her feelings toward her brother. I've also never seen Eiji without it. It seems like the two of them have a pretty normal brother-sister relationship. So they share that necklace. That's my impression, at least. Okay. It's 16. I have a tutoring session with Mana today. We need to go to Echoes instead. Just go with her. Here, we shall know if we have been doing the route correctly. Now, where should I go? Echoes! We are so in. We are so in. I'm working at Echoes today. I head over to the cafe. I'm working at the cafe today. They got an error there. Oh, you want me to work until closing? That's fine, but you'll have to pay me for the extra time. He wipes me off as if to say, of course, before vanishing behind the bar. He goes behind the bar because he has this soundproof room, and he spends the entire day listening to music. Very cool, that a very cool room. He closes his eyes, he puts on his huge headphones, at least in the anime. and with his classy version. I don't like this illustration of him, but in the anime he does that. He sits in his comfortable couch, very elegant looking, and he listens to music all day long. I don't mind doing overtime, but I'm seriously bored. I'm not really tired, but working all night at the cafe when it's that, it's pretty painful. It's pretty painful. I'm not... Okay. At least I'm almost done. Oh, a customer. Here comes Yayoi. Oh, here she comes. She's a man-eater. Hey, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we're already past last call. That's so? That's too bad. She's smiling. In the anime, this part is a lot more dramatic. Toya is not working, and she enters. She's have you seen Fuji-san? She's like trying to control herself to look normal, but she suddenly realized that she needs to be with him. And she even uses the phone, and she's desperate looking for him. Desperate. It was a really amazing scene. That's too bad. Yayoi? What is she doing here now? Because she's desperate. She needs that manly embrace. There's no way a regular customer like her wouldn't know when we close. But did she come here for a different reason? You're closing soon then, no? Yes, that's correct. I answer cautiously, which also means you get off shortly as well. I was hoping you'd allow me to personally escort you back to your place. She wants some. There we go. The only thing she cares about. She wants to snoo. I haven't done anything involving Yuki since the other day that might warrant a discussion. I tell her in a hushed voice while trying to sound as forceful as possible. I am aware, and I'm pleased that you followed the rules for agreement. Says, sounding far from pleased. Too well, in fact. Yuki is starting to get worried. You mentioned being able to see you lately. Yuki said that? Yes. No need to look so anxious. I'm only here because Yuki asked me to check on you. That's not true. That is an absolute lie. The anime, she went on her own because she's actually experiencing problems with a stalker at work. So she wants Fuji to protect her, to be there for her. To see how you're doing, right. The answer should be obvious enough. I say somewhat brusquely. I go about my life the best I can, just like Yuki does, while constantly being escorted from station to studio every day. That's it. I don't have time for anything else. Sadly enough. What? I'm unable to understand what her silence means, her expression reminding me of a precise measuring device. I was hoping we'd have a little talk tonight, just the two of us. This happens to a lot of women that have been tricked, fooled, deceived by the social programming, in schools mostly and university, college. They tell them, first focus on your work, and then try looking for a husband, or a boyfriend, or whatever. We guys, we're always looking for younger women, that is, of course, of legal age, because they have a greater fertility, energy, beauty. They surpass older women in so many ways. And the biological clock is ticking. This has effects on both men and women. So when women spent all of her youth, her younger years, working, and now they say, well, now I'm going to look for a husband or boyfriend or whatever. Now it's too late. They're not as beautiful as before. Some of them can no longer have children. They cannot bear children. And no guy is interested in that unless I feel like simps and soy boys that is their train. And if there's anything you'd like to discuss, I'm all ears. Something I want to discuss, huh? It will only cause further distress to Yuki if she finds out you're too depressed to even speak with me. Look at the excuses. And now she's all smiles. I shoot her a look of absolute disgust. I'm met with that signature cool smile of hers. She's right though. The last thing I want to do is make her worry about me. So I'm going to have to grin and bear it. Unfortunately for me, the truth is that Yuki trusts Yayoi completely and she's sleeping with Toya, with Yuki's boyfriend. So what do you say? Go with her. Understood. I'd be happy to indulge you in conversation tonight. In conversation. Pillow talk. Great. You're a smart man, Fuji. With that smile, she pulls back her lips. With that, she pulls back her lips in a smile, posing her pure white teeth and one of integrity. Her blatant sarcasm causes me to roll my eyes. Come out once you finish up here. I'll be waiting in front of the cafe. It could also be that Yayoi feels like she is very damaged psychologically and emotionally. So she wants Fuji to be a bit more damaged, just like her, or closer to her own emotional and mental, psychological damage. I slowly retreat behind the bar. My boss glances over at me as if nothing happened before going back to closing up for the night. What exactly does it mean to be faithful to someone? Well, for starters, don't sleep around. My boss shoots me a complicated smile. That's a good start, right? As I exit the cafe, that familiar black German car is idling by the curb, vibrating with the purr of its engine. As soon as I get inside, the store lights go off behind me. Oh, we're getting some action tonight. We are getting some action. The car accelerates gradually, the nighttime cityscape endlessly passing my window. It's almost like we alone exist in a space outside the realm of reality or even time itself. How romantic. Yuki's daily schedule has been pretty rough then. I strike up conversation while trying to maintain a facade of normalcy. Yes. She keeps her attention focused on the road ahead. You'd probably see it as a fairly intense schedule. Has her days planned down to the second. Yeah? Yuki, I really wish I could have some time alone with you, even if just for a moment. That being said, she glances over at me through the rearview mirror. Because of that, she is definitely improving. Rearview mirror, where we were on her side, there is an error of translation. We are sitting right next to her. Ah, well, if she's driving, of course, she's not looking to the right, right? Great. Of course she is. She's Yuki after all. But from the passenger, can you? It depends on the car, right? Some cars, in some cases, depending on how they have the rear view mirror, you can't see the face of the. You can match stares or glances with the driver sometimes. Of course, she's Yuki after all. I'm sure you're well aware of what she's like, or at least not comfortably. I can see her talent shining brighter with each passing day, getting closer to perfection. Perfection. A budding superheroine with only one remainder of her previously mundane existence. That being me. If she were the type of self-centered heroine who could remain steadfast even in the face of heartbreak, while keeping her sensitive soul intact, I'm sure Yayoi would have told me to break up with her long ago, by any means necessary. At that point, she could create a superstar that would outshine even Rina Ogata herself. As for me, I can't bring myself to say that I don't really care one way or another. I don't want to destroy Yuki's dream due to my own ego. I noticed that the car is slowing down. We have to do what we can. I thought that had been the plan all along, but at some point I'd left Yuki to persevere all on her own, unable to change a thing about me. Is it powerlessness or cowardice? The car comes to a complete stop. A chunk. Let's save because this segment is a bit long. The sound of the parking brake makes me look up in surprise. I suddenly realize Yayoi is watching me. Oh, they're going to make up in the car. They're going to no, not only make up, they're going to go for the complete package. Clearly wants to say something, but all I can do is respond with silence. Oh, she's going to throw herself at us. What? We're here. Huh? We are? Oh, right. I look around and realize we're in a parking lot around the corner from my building. The anime, they go at it in the car. About 3 or 4 times. Yes. I'd been so lost in thought that I had no idea where we even were for a minute. Seeing my momentary confusion, she watches me quizzically. I'm fine. I know what's going on. I force myself to laugh, my head bowed. I know that no matter how hard I try, all I'll be able to manage is a pitiful, resigned laugh. As I go to unbuckle my seatbelt, I notice Yayoi's face out of the corner of my eye, drawing closer to mine. Huh? Her fingers, seemingly synthesized from chemical compounds, trace the skin from my cheek to my ear. There's no warmth whatsoever. The terribly unnatural sensation causes me to shrink back, like a vampire. She leans over the center console, pressing her body against mine. Yayoi, are you really planning on doing what I think you? But she forces my mouth shut, her fingers pressed against my lips. She traces my lips, her smooth movements like a well-oiled machine. My body trembles at her soft touch, subtle enough that it's hard to tell if the sensation is real or imagined. My mind races at the fear of pleasure beyond my wildest dreams. Put the seat back. My hand is still frozen on the seatbelt buckle, unable to let go. She gropes along the side of my chair, and the back of my seat suddenly drops down. She's not waiting. Hip. He is too feminine in his interactions. I suddenly find myself prone, she suddenly straddles me. Oh, that's a really nice pose. She's not heavy, but seeing her superimposed over the darkness behind her is intimidating. With the seatbelt still in place, holding my torso down, I'm basically rendered immobile. Fuji, man up, okay? My palms are sweaty and I can't stop my hands from shaking. I can't get the clasp undone. All I can hear is the sound of my futile efforts. What? Is this the dominatrix route? She runs the ball of her thumb over my lips. Because in the anime he's a bit more manly. He has one instance when he acts a bit feminine during the act, but most of the time he's taking charge. Chuckling quietly, she leans down and kisses. Black-jawed and with my mouth slightly parted, it feels oddly nice. I moan wordlessly. Toya, Toya, Toya. That sweet sigh of pleasure brushes against her cheek. She closes her eyes briefly. Then she slightly nibbles at my skin, teasing me. She barely uses any pressure, and yet the sensation is far stronger than it should be. No matter how hard I try, I can't unbuckle myself. Toya, you... And it feels like the more I struggle, the tighter it gets, almost suffocatingly so. The sound of the metal buckle mixes with my own heavy breathing, growing increasingly unbearable. I can't breathe. I gasp for air. But she still doesn't let me go. Her fingers slide around my throat. I writhe beneath her, cut by the seatbelt. Sharp pain jolts through me, her nails scratch at my collarbone. She has an expression of complete disinterest on her face, despite knowing the pain she's causing. Instead of that blank slate I'm so used to seeing, there's a look of contempt in her eyes. What? Don't look at me like that. Now get angry and take charge. I scream at her in my head. Wow, this guy. She gropes for something next to my seat, and suddenly the entire chair moves back. Still on top of me, she lowers her face closer to mine. I can't even sit up, let alone get away. I wonder if this was the same in the original visual novel in the older version, because the anime is nothing like this. I continue clawing ineffectively at the seatbelt, the mechanic sound of the clasp echoing loudly. I'm a slave to my desire for her. Any rational thought has been crushed by paralyzing pleasure. I greet her kiss with parted lips. There's an intensity in her gaze. And I know she's not interested in being gentle. You don't have to be afraid. All I want is to make you happy. What? That's a bald-faced lie. Exactly. But I can't bring myself to say that. You're a weird one, Yayoi. None of this is normal. And yet I can't escape. I can't muster the energy necessary to force the seatbelt open. With her face so close to mine, her light chuckle tickles my nose. My eyes focus on the low ceiling of the car. Here I am, tied to a chair in an enclosed box, as an alluringly beautiful woman has her way with me. If she decided to strangle me, I'd be powerless to stop her. Oh, he's such... He needs more testosterone, please, if we exercise a bit. Eat healthier. Even the thought of her doing that fills me with a mixture of dread and intense desire. I sound ridiculously out of breath. My body is drenched in sweat and unbearably hot. An intense sensation suddenly races through me. I'm such a mess that I have no idea whether it's pain or pleasure. But my cry seems to snap her back to reality, and she lets go. That hurt? Oh, gentle! Yayoi is extremely gentle. Yes, my voice comes out louder than I intended, and I avert my gaze, mortified. I'm sorry. I'm still very much a beginner when it comes to what turns men on. Weird. How could she say something like that after torturing me for this long? Does it hurt here? Fine now? She gazes down at me like a scientist observing some mysterious specimen. Yes, it's like she's like doing a massage, right? And he's like, does it hurt too much? So I can't seem to figure out exactly what she's doing to me. You like that? Oh, we have the ASMR treatment here. She brings her lips close to mine once more, and the intense stimulation only increases. How can you make someone you hold no love for whatsoever feel this good? That's the thought that runs through my fuzzy mind. At the very least, it seems like her rough manipulation of my body is not a deliberate attempt at hurting me. I know that, and yet I've long since given up on wrestling with the seatbelt in order to free myself. She leans over me and presses a tissue to my mouth, dabbing at it. Clear she doesn't hate me, and yet I don't detect even a hint of love behind her actions. That better? She asks nonchalantly while looking down at me, still out of breath. There's a definitive lack of distrust, of disgust, hesitation, or suspicion in her eyes. Oddly enough, all I can make out is something akin to pity, but even that quickly vanishes. I close my eyes again, feeling my cheeks flush. If she is offering herself to you, might as well take charge and enjoy it. All I can do is nod, afraid of what pathetic sound might come from my throat. Your face is all dirty too. With that, she uses the tissues to gently wipe out at the skin around my lips. Oh my. Her expression suddenly clouds over. But this was the culprit. But then wipes her own mouth. Her red lipstick sticks to the white tissue. I'm sorry. I catch the faintest whiff of something from the tissue before she pulls it away. Her smell. No, the only thing it could have been was the lipstick. She pulls out a fresh wet wipe and then proceeds to clean my face and neck. Yayoi, yes? Can you let me out of this? I gesture towards the seat belt, holding me in place. Oh, you need to man up. You need the strength to free yourself. Oh, I didn't notice at all. I'm sorry. She seems to barely press down on the metallic latch before it springs obediently to the side, freeing me. I feel like I'm waking up from a bad dream. Are you okay? She says before sliding back into her own seat. Yeah, I'm too embarrassed to give a proper response. Did you enjoy that? She purrs quietly in my ear. Oh, yeah. I have no idea what game she's playing here. Does she get off on humiliating me? I'm sorry, but I really have to call it a night. I don't want her seeing my look of complete mortification any longer. I understand. If you have work to go tomorrow, then you should get you should get some rest. With that, I get out of the car. The cool, fresh air stings my throat. I feel like I was trapped in the car for longer than I really was. There's still an almost greasy humidity lingering inside, seemingly out of character for Yayoi's car. It reeks of sweat and spit, the type of air that would make someone sick if they inhaled it. Even worse, it needs a car freshener. I can't seem to detect even a hint of Yayoi's scent from within it. Overcome with self-disgust, I close the door. Suddenly, let me walk you up. She gets out of the car as well. Pitch dark. They're going to continue. Bedroom. Well, yeah, it's a residential neighborhood. I meant your apartment. What? There's no one waiting for you. Is it cold or dark? Dark, haha. I bow my head slightly. I live alone, obviously. You must be lonely. Hint, hint. I find myself on the verge of telling her she's wrong. But noticing her attention still focused on my apartment building, I stop myself. Fuji, yes? I'd be happy to keep you company anytime you feel lonely. Assuming I'm free to do so, of course. How kind of you. I can't turn her down, but my answer practically drips sarcasm. Don't forget, I'll be at the cafe on Wednesday night. Hint. She exhales slowly, her breath floating quite in the air. So, on the 21st. Good night, she says, her head tilted slightly in almost bemused curiosity, before heading to her car. Realizing how cold I am, I step inside my dark apartment, where no one is waiting for me. We are following the route. We are getting Yayoi. Yayoi is becoming best girl. Now then, where should I go today? Save the game. There we go. And this is going to be the end of this session for today. I will continue the day after tomorrow, I think. Thank you for watching this live stream. In 3 hours, more or less, I'm going to be streaming His Origin. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. Anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the super thanks button. Like, subscribe, take a look at the information, the description, the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar. And remember, level up in game and level up in life. Once again, thank you and see you later.